welcome to Daily Planet and day 2 of Survive This. I'm Dan Riskin.
And I'm Zai Tong. We certainly survived yesterday's harrowing tales of beating the odds, and by the looks of things today, we've got a lot more of that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do some surviving today. Today we've got volcanoes blowing their tops. We also have this really weird arachnid with 2 sets of jaws that will creep you out like nothing you've ever seen.
Survives those jaws. Okay, we're gonna kick things off though tonight with an incredible tale of survival in the face of adversity. This is the story of Charlie Martell. He's a British rower, and he is determined to conquer the Pacific Ocean.
Now that journey would mean rowing about 10,000 kilometers over 133 days all by himself.
And it all sounds grueling enough, but it turns out a typhoon was something that Charlie had not counted on.
You can see it's pretty windy, getting a bit choppy. There's a typhoon coming in a few days' time, and it's time to start preparing for that. The conditions are starting to worsen. This isn't the worst of it yet. This is just the relative calm before the storm. It's going to be interesting.
All alone on the Pacific Ocean, Charlie Martell is about to face a nightmare.
Many people have said about, am I crazy, nuts, mad, stupid, or whatever. I think there may be an element of each of that.
Just over a month ago, he was on land preparing to do the unthinkable.
Mixed feelings, feeling a little bit solitary at the moment. 3 years in the planning, finally coming to the point to start rowing, start getting on with it.
The hope, set a world record rowing solo, unsupported from Japan to the US across the Pacific Ocean, almost 10,000 kilometers.
The Pacific, I think, has been seen as the Holy Grail. I mean, it is the Everest of oceans.
An epic challenge, but he's always lived on the edge. As a British commando, he specialized in bomb disposal. He's raced to the North Pole, and with a crew, broke 2 Guinness World Records rowing the Atlantic Ocean.
This is the Rolls-Royce of boats. This is probably the best you can get built.
His trusty boat, Blossom, has solar panels and cabins at both ends.
I've got an AIS transponder here, which means it's an automatic identification system which shows other shipping where I am. Satellite link. This allows me to make calls, send text messages, receive text messages.
On call is Tony Humphreys.
Once Charlie's gone, I'll be providing him with weather information, routing information. If he has any problems, I'll be on the end of a telephone to help him.
With 6 months of supplies, Charlie sets off.
I was quite happy, actually, because I had the wind and tide in my favour.
It's amazing to be out here. Nothing else as far as the eye can see, just water, sun, sky. It feels good. I wonder if I'll be saying that in a few months' time, though.
He soon discovers he isn't quite alone.
MSC Judith. She's 340 metres long.
And learns to take it one day at a time.
Hands are sore, wrists, elbows, shoulders, backside. This is what I've chosen to do, so I'm not complaining, just informing. After a really good start for a couple of days, made some good progress. Unfortunately, the last couple of days I haven't made such good progress. I had to row through the night last night to try and push myself south. I'm in some pretty bumpy conditions at the moment. So I'm going to be cooped up in this cabin now until Monday. I've been rowing for about an hour and a half. I've only covered 1 mile. Incredibly frustrated. It's a strong northerly wind. I'm conceding the battle today.
He reluctantly deploys the parachute that acts as an anchor.
If the wind drops, the waves drop, then I'll crack on. But until then, it's 1 for the ocean and 0 to Martell.
The plan is to get into the Kuroshio current pushing east.
The next thing I know, I've been pushed out of one side of it and ended up doing a big loop.
So we're going round and round in circles. That's 1 loop done. So we've come from the northeast. Let's see where we go next.
Then, Mother Nature gives him a break.
How spooky is this? The only noise is me.
It's the calm before the storm.
Typhoon Mawa is inbound over the next couple of days. I've just put the parachute anchor out, and this is the conditions right now. So you can see that it's getting unpleasant, a bit bumpy. It's just going to get worse. Been downgraded to a tropical storm now, but Still, I'm expecting 50-knot winds and 8 to 10 metre high waves.
The storm moves in. Then, the capsizing starts.
6 capsizes, 5 knockdowns in 24 hours. F***ing hard. I'm absolutely f***ed. I've not slept for a couple of days. Hopefully it won't capsize again. Bye for now.
Blossom is designed to withstand side-to-side capsizing, but not for what happens next.
I was trying to sleep and I woke up to a huge noise, a feeling of weightlessness. The next thing was my head banging against the stern hatch above my head.
An incredible force pitch pulls the boat, flipping stern to bow.
The parachute anchor line wrapped around the rudder, ripped the rudder off, ripped the antennas off, ripped the oars off, and as soon as I got out, the right way should I say, I noticed the cracks in the bulkhead and I realised that was it.
About 900 kilometers off the coast of Japan, he makes a difficult decision. Admit defeat.
Unfortunately, this is the end of Pacific 2012 for me and for Blossom, and you can see a crack perhaps. Big crack down there, and down there. And we've got a broken oar out the side. I've spoken to Tony, my shore support back in the UK, and I've spoken to the Japan Coast Guard. My effort to row solo across the Pacific. Pacific winds. She didn't want me to go across. Plain and simple.
The last Tycoon responds to the distress call.
As soon as we got the distress signal, so we altered our course. It would take a lot of time to reach this position.
While Captain Kornilov and the crew tackle turbulent seas, Charlie waits.
I'm just absolutely gutted. Tell you what, these high winds, night waves, and the constant capsizes and smackdowns. This is the most solitary, lonely, depressing time of the whole trip. I feel scared.
With his radio turned off to save power, it takes hours to find the drifting boat. After 36 grueling hours, he staggers to safety.
It was a strange feeling. I was feeling particularly wobbly because it's my first few steps I'd taken in about 5 weeks.
We had Blossom alongside, but she's made a break for it. She's over there. The Russian crew are very kindly going to try and recover her.
Blossom soon joins him on deck. The next stop is Canada. Just arrived at Vancouver's port, Blossom is prepped to be shipped home.
The damage caused to her can probably be repaired, so the last thing I wanted to do was lose her.
Even though this journey's come to an end, it's only a chapter in this story.
I'm very tempted to try it again, but I think my next challenge will be Pacific again. When is the question?
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, you know, Charlie was really grateful for a lot of the Daily Planet viewers' tweets that he received while he was out there on the ocean.
Incredible. I mean, so lonely, and then he gets, you know...
Daily Planet tweet. That's right.
Way to go, team. Way to go. Now, we have an update. Charlie tells us that Blossom can be repaired, so he's going to try again next year.
This time, though, he's leaving earlier in the hopes of being able to make it further across the Pacific prior to typhoon season starting. However, it will mean that the trip will be colder and wetter.
Hard to believe, eh? Oh, well, we've got some more footage from Charlie's journey. So for what you didn't see, go to discoverychannel.ca/dailyplanet for all kinds of web extras, including bonus footage and Charlie's video diary.
Okay, moving right along now. Canada isn't called the Great White North for nothing. Our country covers vast tracts of land from sea to sea to sea, and that includes some of the most rugged and remote conditions found anywhere.
So what happens if you need help and you're stranded, but you're nowhere near a city and you're somewhere in Canada? Well, there is a special team that can be deployed to help you.
That's true. I recently caught up with one very dedicated military aircrew for an inside look at how they deploy from the air.